Um, I've said before that I really like the novel The Postman Rings Twice and the um, John Garfield, Lana Turner movie of the same name. Okay, now one thing that we're reminded of in the novella, Postman Rings Twice, is the fact that there was, in the early 20th century, a lot of sentiment in America against Greek immigrants. There was a lot of anti-Greek sentiment. Nowadays, and probably since about the mid-20th century, Greek Americans have just been another group of white Americans, not subject to any particular discrimination or prejudice. But there was a lot of prejudice against them when they first immigrated over here. And the Postman Always Rings Twice underlines that, because Nick Papadakis' wife, Cora, the man he hires, Frank Chambers, and even the attorney who ends up, the prosecuting attorney who prosecutes Cora and Frank for the murder of Nick Papadakis, always referred to him as the Greek. And I do think that to refer to somebody always by their ethnic background is rather dehumanizing. Now, interestingly, Nick Papadakis is to some degree a kind of representative of a figure in American culture, which is the immigrant who makes good, or to some degree makes good. Nick Papadakis did not become wealthy, but he did own his own business, so he was comfortable. And as his wife pointed out, he had 4 suits, and he had about a dozen silk shirts, and he owned a diner and a gas station. And so he does kind of represent the immigrant who becomes part of the middle class. Another thing about Nick Papadakis is that he was not in any way bitter toward his home country, but he was a very patriotic American. When he made his sign up, he put on it both a Greek flag and an American flag, and he had it done in the colors red, white, and blue to show his loyalty and love of his adopted country. Still, another thing about Nick is that in the novel, he is a little bit lonely. He does have Cora, but he kind of wants a guy friend who will be his buddy. That obviously works against him in the end, but he really does want Frank Chambers around there. And I don't believe there's any homosexual feelings suggested. I do think there's a desire for masculine camaraderie suggested. And also I read somebody else said that there might be a subtle suggestion that maybe he wants a young, handsome man around to kind of spice things up with his wife. Maybe, she'll want him more just from getting kind of a little bit turned on by having the young stud around. Anyway, my main point is that it is a reminder of anti-Greek sentiment in The Postman Rings Twice, and a reminder of how far Greek Americans have come since the early 20th century. Hope you like hearing that. Hope you'll subscribe. Hope you tell other people about me. Help me grow my social media presence.